Hi, I'm Heather of Amrita Yoga and Wellness, and thank you for joining me for part 2 of my yoga in a chair to reverse the effects of sitting. In this video, we are going to practice a short but effective sequence to work the low body. A few things though before we get into the asanas, understanding the why, right? With sitting being referred to as the new smoking, people are sitting actually longer than they're sleeping. And when we sit, circulation is robbed from the area of the pelvis, from the calves, from the thighs. Also, it does bring a lot of shortening to the muscles of the low back, the hip flexors. All of this can result in sluggish digestion, less awareness and focus. And this sequence will help to create more balance and alleviate any of those symptoms. We'll be practicing in and out of the chair. You can do this sequence as I present it, or you can take any bits of it that resonate with you and work for your body and your working environment. So to start, an easy thing that we'll do is we're going to pick our right thigh up towards the chest and we'll interlace the hands behind that right hamstring. As I allow my knee to bend, I'm going to point my toes. And then on exhale, I'm going to fire up the front of the leg to root out into my heel and flex the foot. Inhale, I'm going to point the toes and lower, and then exhale, straighten and flex. And you can do this as little or as long as you like, and this is just beginning to stretch out the hamstrings and energize the quads. Also, the action of extension and flexion and pointing helps to just begin to circulate the blood through the leg. And then when you're done, you can do that same on the other side. And I would repeat the same amount of repetitions from right to left and left to right. Next, once we're done there, we're going to bring our feet to the mat. You're going to inhale, your arms up to the sky, and then on exhale, you're going to allow the front of your pelvis to move towards the thighs as you just stretch out over the thighs. Be conscious to plug the shoulder away from the ear. And then on an inhale in, I'm going to bring my right hand to the outside of my right thigh. And I'm going to resist my right leg into my palm as I push into the thigh. And I take my left ribs away from my left hip. And I extend out into my left palm. Always moving to the right first, as this will compress the ascending colon. And also, as we work here, we're getting into the quadratus lumborum, a low back muscle that typically gets tight and can cause low back pain from prolonged sitting. And then on an inhale, I'll come back to center. And then we'll take the left hand to the left leg, we'll push as we resist. And we'll move from the rib cage, reaching into those right fingertips, now opening up the right side of the low back as we now compress gently the descending colon. So now we're also moving circulation, and we're also maintaining the natural flow of the digestive system. And then inhaling in, I'll come back to center, and then on an exhale, hands to hips, and inhale, heart rises. From here, we're going to bring a little energy into the legs to help increase energy in the body. So whether your arms are up overhead for a little bit more of a challenge, or your hands are on your hips. We're going to inhale, slightly lean forward with the torso, and then on an exhale, you're going to come off of the chair, literally into chair pose. And then we're going to inhale, come on up, and then exhale, we're going to slowly send our seat back. Knees stay over the ankles, so as you peek over your knees, you should be able to see your toes, and we're going to gently sit back into the chair and come on back. And we can do this again as often or as little as you like within the series, but moving slowly so we get that engagement of the muscle. And as we sit down and back, we are allowing the hips to release. We are allowing the low back to release. And we'll do this just one more time in this video. And exhale, really hugging the muscles of the legs to the bones, pressing into the earth. And then inhale, arms up. I'm going to send my seat back. Core is in, and I'll come all the way back to the chair. Hands to the hips, and then inhale, rising on up. In your next exhale, I'm going to stand up out of the chair, and you'll turn to the chair. And newer students, you can turn the chair so the back of the chair faces you for a more accessible less intense variation of down dog at the chair. And then older students, you can face the chair with the seat aspect facing you. I will show you both variations. We'll start with newer students first. This is also great if you have a little bit more tension in the back body. That forward folding may be a challenge for you. You're going to bring your hands to the back of the chair, and you'll begin to send your hips away from the chair, feeling the spine begin to lengthen. Align biceps next to ears. You're going to wrap the shoulders outwardly. Subtle bend of the knees, heels beneath your knees beneath your hips, and lift and spread the toes and hug the front of the thigh muscles to the bones. As you do that, continue to inhale, send your tailbone back in space, lift it to the sky. This will stretch the low back, the hamstrings, and even the calves. You can stay here for a minimum of 5 breaths to however long that you wish. And then older students, same shape of the body, just a little bit more intensity and openness. And you're going to turn the chair to you. Palms can either be flat or a very relaxed grip on the outer edge. And then we'll walk back just a little bit more. This will increase the action of hip flexion. And the increased hip flexion will just allow us to get a little bit more deeper into the backs of the thighs and into the low back. Same cues, lifting the feet, hugging the thigh muscles to the bones, and feeling that nice release through the whole back body. And then exhale, come up when you're ready. And the next one, we're going to turn the chair back to its natural position. And this one, I'm going to show you from 2 different angles. One is that you're going to step your left foot about a foot in front of the chair, depending on the length of your legs. And then the other one, you're going to step your right foot onto the chair. Notice the direction of your knee. We want to allow the toes to always go in the direction of the knee. So some of our toes may be slightly forward, so maybe turn out to a 45-degree angle depending on your body. And then inhale, palms are going to rise. And then next time you're going to keep that right foot on the chair. And then you're going to lengthen and fold. Maybe left hand to shin, right palm to the chair. If you're a little bit more open, bring your palms to the mat, let your head hang. This begins to open up the inner thigh, the adductor muscles, the glutes, and again the back of the left leg. Showing you from a front view. I will repeat again just so you can see the alignment and the action of the body from both angles. So again, my knee is going in the direction of my toes in both legs, and inhale, arms up. Exhale, I'm going to send my tailbone back, but I am going to reach my heart forward. Again, maybe only coming about here, breathing into the inner thigh, the hip, the back of the left leg. Or exhale, bringing the palms all the way to the mat. And then inhaling, coming on up. And then exhale, stepping out. And then lastly, again, we're going to take pyramid pose with the chair. And older students, chair faces this direction. Newer students will turn it around. So again, we're going to turn it around for our newer practitioners. And you're going to square your body to the chair. You're going to step your left foot slightly forward and in line with the center of the chair. And then you're going to step your right leg as far back as you can, in a way that allows you to root that right heel down. Taking a look at your heels, the inner edge of your left foot should meet the inner aspect of that right heel. And then on a breath in, I'm going to lift my heart. And then on a breath out, you can just simply begin to bring your forearms down to the back of the chair. Now, to really get the lengthening through the back of that left leg, you want to root into that big ball of your left foot. We're going to roll this left thigh bone out. So you're going to feel that left hip move towards the wall behind you, this right hip come around to the chair. And again, lift and spread the left toes. For a little bit more intensity, and if you do get cramps or tension in the calf, you can maintain this position but lift the left sole of the foot completely off of the floor and really root into the heel. If you love this and you want to stay a little bit longer, keep the neck and the shoulders relaxed. You can even rest your forehead on the palms, as a softness in the upper back will help you to breathe deeper. And then older students, same action, but again, a little bit more intensity. So we are going to palms flat or grip the edge of the chair. You are going to step your left foot about 6 inches away from the edge of the seat that's closest to you. You're going to step your right leg way back. So here, same alignment, inner edge of left heel to inner edge of right heel. root into that ball of the front foot, heel that left hip back, right hip forward. But here, inhaling in, you're going to tilt your pelvis towards the floor, reach your heart towards the chair, and then on an exhale, you can, from your waist, grow longer as you reach further onto that chair and melt a little bit deeper. Again, if we want to work the calf, we stay low, and we lift the left toes up off of the floor. And then planting that left foot, lifting your heart. Exhale, you're going to step that right leg forward. And then we'll turn the chair back to the center point for our finishing pose of half pigeon. So as I sit in my chair, I'm going to sit towards the edge of the chair. My sit bones are completely supported. I'm going to separate my feet hips distance apart, ankles beneath knees. And then inhaling, I'm going to cross this right shin over left, draw the toes towards the shin. For some of us, this may be enough. What's really important here is that we maintain this action of flexing the foot back towards the shin to protect the knee laterally. You might just sit upright and let me a little bit of push onto that right knee, never force. Or if you want to go deeper, inhale, arms rise, and then on exhale, you can begin to tilt forward. If you have a desk in front of you, maybe you reach for the desk, or again, you can even bring your forehead and your palms to rest onto the desk as we really work into the larger gluteal muscles of that right hip. You can hold minimum 5 breaths to maximum, whatever feels good to you. And then we're simply just going to step that right foot down, and then we'll repeat that on the other side. Again, being mindful of the strong flex of the foot to protect the knee, the alignment of knee over ankle. And then you might just want to sit upright, relax shoulders, deep breath, or breathing in, palms rise, and then exhale, moving from the front of the pelvis, tilting forward to keep that low back safe. Maybe hands to a desk, maybe forearms and head, rest on a desk. And then when you're done, come on out. And then exhale, step that left sole of foot to the floor, and you can get right back to your work, feeling a little bit more open, a little bit more energized, and at ease. So I hope you enjoyed this series of chair yoga to reverse the effects of sitting. If you found this helpful, please know that we will make more educational videos. So please do follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and we look forward to seeing you on the mat soon.